got me into. I might turn this off.
No, just turn it down
So
a little bit.
you
But we're just a bunch of guys just here missing football, waiting for me, according to YouTube here.
Yeah, we just watched.
The Saints
I
versus
think
Minnesota.
that's probably the top 10 games of their games this season.
we never.
Here, Zachariah, the triplets, sitting down here in the man cave, just kind of chilling, missing. Let me see. How's the signal for you guys? Because I didn't play. The company that I have here, I have John Gardner. You've seen John a couple times.
The worst for tailgating at the stadium.
Oh no, you could not tailgate in Minnesota. Well,
probably because all the snow.
When Randy Moss was there, you heard that horn non-stop.
Oh my! In the stream, but I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some players that I know that it's gonna be out of.
Okay, so hopefully the stream is back, guys. Sorry, I screwed up as always because I suck at technology. I forgot to plug in the what do you call the cable right there, which instead of using Wi-Fi, plugging in directly. I screwed up.
DLR.
Okay, the DLR.
You're saying that these for
Okay, I just
up.
got that plugged back in. Forgive me, guys. So it'll come back. It'll catch up. It's delayed by a few seconds here, but it sucks. This is our second Sunday without football. We're sitting here watching Minnesota Vikings versus Saints game, and we're eating some chicken wings.
Top 10 games of the
These
season.
wings are outstanding, by the way. Outstanding.
Hey, if y'all didn't know, Mark not only can build stuff and a master YouTube channel, but he can cook his ass off too.
Master of all trades.
And when he talk about Joe Boo's wings, these wings are something else. You guys are missing out.
Somebody was asking about Emmanuel Sanders. What do you guys think about Emmanuel Sanders?
What, coming to the Cowboys?
Coming to the Cowboys.
You might as well keep it.
Too much money.
And it will be a big chunk of change, and he's not exactly a spring chicken.
Same thing with Jarvis Landry. You're going to have to pay him.
Jarvis Landry will probably get investigated by the NFL if he comes to the Cowboys.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're going to find you got a star in your helmet?
No.
Reopen the investigation.
Remember, let's back this thing up. Let's go ahead and get real with it, because the NFL invested him for domestic violence and said, you're good. You're okay. There's not enough evidence. But there was a video that surfaced where he's pushing his baby mama in the car and cussing her out.
That's because he doesn't play for America State.
So if you bring him into Dallas, that case will be reopened.
Oh, they're going to reopen it, definitely.
There's definitely a bias when it comes to it. I never understood it.
You know, I hated to say it at first because I didn't want people to think, oh, you're just saying that because you're.
Now some of it's because of Jerry Jones.
But as things keep happening and or the lack thereof from players and other teams and getting away with stuff and not getting the time they should, I mean, I'm starting to think that like there is a bias towards us.
It's because of Jerry Jones.
And it's Jerry Jones. And
we tried to sue the league last year, and look what happened.
But it was before you tried to sue the league.
But everybody's hating on Jerry, but they got to understand that Jerry is the whole reason why these teams are making the money they are.
But he was, because Jerry Jones, as much as people hate him, he was the first one that went out and said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and get deals. And remember, they had the Nike suit on there. And originally the other owners are like, what are you doing? Exactly. But with the collective bargaining agreement, everybody's making money. You can be the Cleveland Browns and not win a game, and you're still getting paid.
Yeah.
And in the end, and talking about Vegas, this is what's crazy.
I think Jerry Jones.
Remember what my man was talking about the other night. He said, okay, if you're a season ticket holder in Oakland, you're the first ones on the list to go ahead and get moved over to the stadium.
Like $1,000.
But if you want to get season tickets, your personal seat license
is about
$10,000. That is just to go ahead and give you the right to buy season tickets. Let me say that again. $10,000 is the personal seat license, so you can buy season tickets. And when you think about Vegas, Vegas will be a destination much like AT&T Stadium is game. Weekend in Vegas, and we're going to see football?
Just imagine all the crap that's going to happen.
Oh!
You think they eat horse poop in Philly.
Somebody said, Chris Stone says, watch Reuben Foster get slapped on the wrist next season. Yeah.
Yeah. He's right about that.
Zachariah, believe me, I've already told DeMario he loves some shrimp and grits. Okay? He loves some shrimp and grits. I told him if he joins the Cowboys, he's got a lifetime supply of shrimp and grits.
I'll be honest with you, I've actually never eaten shrimp and grits.
Never?
Yeah, and you can pull my black card for that.
Same
But
here.
I've actually never had.
You know,
Actually,
you know what?
I've actually
Tonight
never
might be the night that you have some then.
I've
Because I actually
actually
still have a
never-
little bit
I've-
left over.
I've never had shrimp and grits.
Damn. You don't know what you've been missing.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're going to have a first here on the Man Cave. And any NFL players that are interested in having some shrimp and grits and maybe smoking a Cuban cigar and having some good rum, all it'll cost you is a nice interview here in the Man Cave. So we're full service here. But anyway, with that being said, though, Irvin, tell everybody about your channel.
All right, y'all. My name is Irvin. My YouTube channel name is E2 Blue Entertainment. So that's E2 capital B lowercase Lu Entertainment. So basically, right now I've got a couple of videos up going on right now. I did a video earlier this morning on the draft and some of the prospects that we're gonna have, and some of the guys that we might be getting in the draft this year, and some guys that may be out of reach, but knowing the Cowboys, we might be able to, knowing with Jerry Jones, we might be able to, go up and go back for him. And also, I'm going to be doing some roundtables. It's going to be, the name of that is Real Talk with E2. So you guys look for that and subscribe to my channel. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff with Mark this summer, especially for the draft. So Mark will let you guys know about that, but that's me.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to pass it on to my man, John, over here. John, tell everybody that. Now, you've been on the channel a couple times.
Yeah, I've been on
and former Howard University player.
Yeah.
And by the way, my man Irvin, he's also a DJ too. Yeah, so we're gonna get him over here with the table sometime. We're gonna have a real party during the season.
I'm actually DJing a '90s party this Saturday coming up. I'm excited about that.
All right, cool beans. Yeah. So John.
Okay, guys, you can find me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, DMB Dallas Cowboys. It's pretty simple. Right now, my main focus right now is covering the draft. I talked to Mark. When Philadelphia and Atlanta played that playoff game, I've just been focusing on the draft because that's what this show needs, and that's one of the things that I love doing is just breaking down film. So you guys see this right here. There's 261 names on there, and I plan on watching each and every one of them.
Oh yeah, we all got our notes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I plan on knowing exactly who we can get and just offering insight. Is anybody out there that you guys want me to do a video on and break down? Feel free to subscribe to my channel and just leave a comment in the comment section and let me know.
I'd like to know more about that dude with the one hand.
Well, okay. Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely know about
him. His name.
Let me give a shout out to Jeffrey Ward and a thank you who is watching from the Middle East. I appreciate that, man.
Wow.
Thank you for your service. And man, we're worldwide here. We got Robert Ferris from Australia, mate. Well, I tell you what, from down under. I got a friend of mine, Michelle, who was up for the Super Bowl and everything else. She gave me some bush seasoning, and I've got actually a couple of little kangaroo dolls that are actually up in the man cave here that are souvenirs. So shout out to everybody who's tuned into us. King Kai 23 asks, what free agents should we go after?
DeMario Davis.
Yeah. Outside of DeMario Davis.
Okay. All right. Look, we got a consensus here that everybody here is in love with DeMario Davis.
Good people.
Well, DeMario, sitting here talking to him, and again, like this is to me, I'm gonna until he's signed with somebody, I'm gonna be on that bandwagon.
I'm on it too.
He is this year's Calais Campbell. I know everybody kept saying, why are you always talking about Calais Campbell? He's old. He's a defensive tackle. Blah, 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 blah. He's going to cost too much money. And I was like, listen.
They were in the championship.
Oh, my God. I said, no. I said, listen, he's a generational guy. And from what I know about Calais is he is a teammate. He is a guy who leaves everything on the field. He was a motivator. And I said, you put him on the team, I don't care what team it is, he will be a beast. Because the guy commanded double teams. Yeah. He made everybody else around him better. And everybody's like, oh, no.
Championships.
Okay, he was runner-up, defensive player of the year. Just saying. But DeMario is of that kind of mold and stuff. And when you hear his story, guy has not missed a game with the Jets. How many linebackers we got that have done that?
None.
Do we have any, other than Jalen Smith, have any linebackers that made it through the season without getting hurt besides Jalen Smith? Okay, just saying. 5 sacks.
When's the last time we had
5 sacks.
Yes, 5 sacks.
That would have been third, I believe, third on our team in sacks.
First of all, you're talking
Right?
about a guy that played Arena League and in high school at the linebacker position. Linebacker is not an easy position to play to get sacks. Anytime you get more than 5 sacks at the linebacker position a year, that's a pretty damn good.
All right, but 135 tackles, 97 solos. Jalen Smith was second on the team with, I think, 97 total tackles. So you get a guy like that in the middle who, as he puts it, I'm the general.
It relieves that strain off.
It's my job to make sure everybody is in their position ready to roll.
Yeah.
This is my house, and you're not getting shit in my house.
Nope.
That's the kind of guy the Cowboys need.
And I don't think
I honestly believe that the Jets would not be stupid enough to let him go a second time.
You never know.
But, money
It's
talks.
the Jets we're talking about.
So
only played for a mill.
that would be one that we need to look at. Some of the other guys. But before I get to that, I need to go ahead and, I know you guys don't know who this guy is over here. And no, it's not Dak Prescott.
I wish I was making money.
Yeah, you know what? I wish my son was Dak Prescott.
Right.
Okay. And Dak, if you're looking for another daddy. But this is my son, Michael. You'll see him working with me and everything else. He is literally my right-hand man. And Michael is doing YouTube as well. Michael Anthony Fitness. Tell everybody about your channel and your dog.
Oh, you mean the one named at the Sean Lee?
There you go. Yep. Leroy.
That's right. Named at the Sean Lee.
Yeah. So tell everybody about your channel and what you think about the Cowboys.
Well, my channel is kind of transitioning. It's in a transition. I'm not sure what exactly I want to do with my channel. It was originally started to be a fitness channel, but now it's turned into kind of React and gaming channel. So I still want to do the fitness stuff. So what I'm doing tomorrow, because of Demario Davis and his hard work, I'm going to start doing 2-a-days until we leave for the draft. So I'm going to be documenting. I'm going to try to learn how to document my experience doing that and my intermittent fasting and a blog style. So I still learn how to do all that. And one of the things I think with the Dallas Cowboys is that Dez Bryant needs to go.
Ooh.
I've been on that train. If y'all don't remember, when Dak Prescott Dak Prescott's rookie year, when Dez Bryant got hurt, the team was clicking. And then look what happened when he came back.
Question, Mike. Who do you think that we're going to replace him with?
Try to draft somebody.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all fun, but most wide receivers take time. That's a position that takes time to. It's very rare that you see a receiver come into the league and just be the number one receiver. They're always backed up by somebody that's been there for years, even if it's somebody of T. Will's caliber that's at that number one position. They're still going to need time to develop.
I still think it's worth too much money.
Well, but
too much money.
Thank you.
What they're going to have to do what they're going to do.
If you want to take a pay cut,
they're going to take a pay cut. They're going to lessen that cap hit.
Yeah, which I think is a mistake. It's
it
just
is.
kicking the can. Because
that's what they do, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that is. We're still paying for Miles Austin and Marion Barber and things like that.
I thought Miles Austin was on the team.
No, but he was almost a coach. But the problem is back in those days, in the mid 2000s, we ended up going through and paying guys for basically 1 year. I mean, Marion Barber got $40-some million.
Yeah.
Jay Ratcliffe, got a big fat paycheck. Miles Austin, who was always injured to begin with, had that one great year. He got a big contract. So we were every year, and this is the first year that we have not been over the cap. And everybody keeps talking about, we got no cap money. No, we got $19 million. $19 million is only 10th least. I mean, we're in the bottom half of it. But normally this time of year, we're looking at who are we going to cut to get underneath by the deadline? Who are we going to restructure so we can get underneath the cap? We're not at that point right now. Right now, they're looking at saying, okay, we got $19 million. We need the franchise tag, probably DeMarcus Lawrence. We're going to need to tender David Irving. So that basically is that $19 million. They'll probably restructure Travis Frederick's deal and get about another $7 million there.
He still has another year on his contract, though, for, you talking about
Travis Frederick. Yeah, Zach Martin. See,
he's got another year.
In my mind, here's the thing. We as fans love football. We love players.
Yes.
What we don't realize is it's a business, and players get old.
It is.
You still have people saying that we should have signed Michael Vick last year. Well, okay, I'm just saying, because you don't think about the Michael Vick who was last year in Pittsburgh.
That's
right. You think of Michael Vick who was in Falcons. Oh man, we should get that guy. But players get old overnight. The reason why you look, actually, let me look at this number up. Somebody say something real quick, and I'm going to just check something real quick.
Well, back on the Dez Bryant thing, it's two things that need to happen. I don't want to see him go quite yet because Dez Bryant is still a good player. It's not like he can't produce. There has been other factors for the reason that he's not. Now, granted, I give him all the criticism in the world for not catching the ball like he should. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was with his injury that he said at the end of the season. But two big things.
What did C.A. Smith said? He said it's not the same ball that Romo was throwing.
Two big things need to happen. I think they need to do with him what they did with Larry Fitzgerald. Move his ass to the slot. Let him play in the slot a little while. Because he's been with the team long enough, he should know these routes by now.
Okay. All right. I just want to double check something. Okay. I understand what you're saying there. But the problem is you're trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Dez Bryant has never been good at running routes. So now you're going to basically put him in another position that he's got to learn.
And he has to be good at running routes because at that position
at the slot you
got to be precise
and you got to have quick feet. But his feet are good enough. But
I don't know.
I
honestly,
well, he had tendonitis. He said
don't believe that he is the same player physically anymore. That the injuries are going to.
We got to move him around.
Well, be that as it may, yes,
maybe not.
That having a better offense will help. But here's the thing that in my mind, love Dez Bryant. Okay, Dez Bryant. I love his attitude. I love that he's an in-your-face kind of guy. A guy that has passion. And that's one of those things that I look at our defense and say it's missing. But what you have to understand is you've got $170-some million that you've got to pay 53 guys.
Yeah.
Okay? New England. Every year, New England's good.
They get rid of them.
Now, take a look. And I wanted to double check.
Well,
the Pro Bowl players. They never had that many Pro Bowl players. I mean, they always get Tom Brady. They always get Gronk.
Yeah.
But after that, Matthew Slater, United Way guy, great guy, but he's a special team player.
Yeah.
And their fullback, James Devlin. That's it for Pro Bowl players. Yet every year, and this is not just this year, every year they only have like 3 or 4 guys that are Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
Look at how many Pro Bowlers we have every single year. But we're not going to Super Bowls. The reason is they understand you got to draft well. Keep those guys for a couple of years. When they're ready to get paid, keep certain ones.
And when you go to free agency, you find
or
key players.
Use them to get somebody else.
Yes,
they had was a linebacker of theirs that wanted to get paid. They traded him to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You always want to trade him to Cleveland. You know it's going to be a high draft pick.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You get a second round, it might as well be a first because it's Cleveland. Okay? And that's what they do. They realize it's not about me having 8 great Pro Bowl players on the team. I need about 25 or 30 guys. So when I lose that Pro Bowl player, I got somebody who's almost as good to step in. And that's why they win consistently.
Yeah.
They end up looking for ways to get more draft picks.
Yeah.
Trading back. You don't see them reaching to sell. You don't see them paying a boatload of money for one free agent. And when you look at our roster and think that right now because of restructuring, Tyron Smith is $17.5 million.
First of all, we still got dead money from Tony Romo.
Well, right, yeah, right. Yeah, true. that finally goes up. And again, that goes back to restructuring contracts.
Which
went back to all those contracts in the past. We had to get money from Tony Romo to pay the bills because of all that debt from the past. So you go through and you restructure the Dez Bryant, you're still doing the same thing that got you in this mess.
You're right. But no, I wasn't saying necessarily what I think that they should do. I was saying based on what I think that they're going to do. Knowing the Cowboys, they don't want to get rid of Dez. I know they don't want to get rid of Dez. And I don't think they're going to get rid of him. But the only other option is to push that money back to a later date.
Well, Anthony Jennings, listen, I'm not comparing ourselves, believe me, to New England because we have a long, long ways to go to be a New England. What I'm saying is New England should be the one that you're looking at and saying
follow their model.
They may not win the Super Bowl every year, but basically they're there like every other year. What is it that they're doing that we're not? Yeah, Dak Prescott commercial. And I'm hoping that he's made enough money this year on all of these commercials that we're back to focusing in on practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice and doing better on the team because we don't want this to be RG3. Okay? No. But that's what I'm talking about as far as.
They kept new for that.
Oh, Lordy. See, Eagle trolls. I can't, literally, I just cannot turn on the computer without seeing Eagles fans all over the place.
Bar somewhere enjoying your Super Bowl.
You know, I mean, seriously. Why don't you go ahead and find some Eagle fans to talk to about, being Eagle? Somebody that's going to be excited, high five you. Yeah, we're Super Bowl. You're not getting that here. You're getting this here, okay?
Go to EDP's channel.
I actually didn't know you were going to do that, but
go to EDP's channel.
There is another option to go with the Dez thing, and I talked about it earlier. Now, I'm kind of going to take something from you.
Oh, Lord.
Kind of leave as is his contract. I hate to say it, but leave as is right now, but we draft another guy that can move around.
That guy needs to be Christian Kirk, and the reason why I say Christian Kirk is Christian Kirk is a speedster. He can blow the top off of defense. If we keep drafting the same type of wide receivers, we're going to keep getting the same results every year. I mean, granted, we have a good core of wide receivers, but they're all the same. We got two shorties, we got two midgets back there.
Yeah, but see, you know what? I think Ryan Switzer could be. That Cole Beasley might end up not being on the team next year.
It's a possibility.
There's an out on there, and you see again. We're looking at Dallas. See, here's the one thing you got to look at, though. Remember, just like I was talking about, teams are always looking. Where can I save money to get the other guy, and where can I upgrade? You start looking at Cole Beasley, who had a down year, and then you got a Ryan Switzer who's making chump change. Can I take Ryan Switzer and put him in for Cole Beasley and save that money and use it for someplace else? In the same way, when you look at a Tyrone Crawford and say, Tyrone Crawford, because we've restructured, and again, that's another one of those things where we ended up needing money, so let's go ahead and do it. So I'm not blaming him for his contract, but he got 5 sacks, or was it 4?
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Who are you talking about?
Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah, 4.
4.
Yeah,
okay. So he's $9.5 million. You got Taco, who played half the time, who got 3.
Yeah.
So do you look at this and say, you know what? Taco is now Tyrone Crawford. We let him go and save $8 million.
I'm okay with Tyrone Crawford leaving, to be honest.
See, and that's the games that we got to play.
I like him, but
if you're not if you're going to hold. Okay, here's the thing though. If you're going to hold on to Dez, and this is why I say you got to look at New England, because you get to say, okay, I got $16.5 million here for Dez Bryant. If I don't restructure. If I restructure, I'm risking having to just throw good money after bad down the road and hurt me later on.
That's if you restructure.
But the $16 million right here, I could take that $16 million, make it a June 1st cut, and get me $12.5 million. I could go ahead and then sign a contract for DeMarcus Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Make it, backloaded so that way when the Tony Romo's money's gone and the Dez Bryant's money's gone, that it can get it back later on, and basically make it like a $5 million hit.
Because you still going to have to remember.
Right. Okay. So wait. Now I've got DeMarcus Lawrence locked up.
Yeah.
I still got $7.5 million left. Okay. Do I go ahead and do the deal now for Zach Martin?
Oh yeah, I'm all for this.
Okay. I'm all for this. So okay, or do I say, you know what? I do need some help from the team. And instead of going for your DeMontre Moores and the cornerback, which we've got $4 million in dead money this year because of Nolan Carroll.
No, former Eagles. Okay. Former Eagles.
And Thornton.
Former Eagles.
So we've gone bargain basement shopping for these guys that didn't even make it through the whole season.
Former Eagles.
We're paying $4 million in dead money for those guys. Do I say, let me go ahead and try and step it up a little? Maybe not be the first day type of players, but maybe that second tier free agent and try and get me somebody who's going to be some depth or a possible starter for the team with some of that money from Dez. Right. So do you start looking at that and saying Dez Bryant or possibly three guys? And that's the thing that you kind of have to look at.
But you also got to look at
have to find a replacement.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
But then, if you end up doing that with the money from Dez Bryant, if you can sign Zach Martin, if you can sign DeMarcus Lawrence with the money from Dez, you still got $19 million left before you even get rid of a Tyrone Crawford or Orlando Scandrick or a Cole Beasley.
So, but I see you. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I see that you mentioned Orlando Scandrick. Well, how much money would we be saving if we cut him on June 1?
I think it's $3.5 million.
Yeah, something like that.
Because his contract has been kind of slewed too.
But
they kept pushing money back for him, and it's been a lot.
Right, yeah, but it's like $3.5 million. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, but it's still all that stuff adds up. And the reality is, I think you look at it and say, our defensive backfield, the young guys that we have, that's where we're going.
That's our core right there.
Yeah,
that's
you got Lewis, and hopefully Anthony Brown comes back around.
Yeah,
okay.
I think you will.
With Chris Richard,
he's gonna get those young guys.
That's what I'm telling you.
I said that on my channel.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, Kevon Frazier. But I still believe I would still like to get. I wouldn't mind getting an Earl Thomas for a couple of years because you want a guy who's been there, who knows the system with Chris Richard. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking about this being a 10-year deal. I'm talking about it because most free agents have about a 2-year shelf life.
He'll get a 2 year.
But he's not a free agent though, is he?
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not.
He has an out in his contract.
You got to trade for him. You can trade.
No, it won't be a trade.
They're going to cut him.
See what they're doing right now. Seattle, the clock's ticking on us. The problem or the good thing for them was they had Russell Wilson getting paid chump change for years. So they paid that defense. That defense has gotten old now. You know, Cam Chancellor is talking about coming back if he's medically cleared. Okay, you're talking about, Earl Thomas, I think, has already poisoned the waters of the team by coming to Dallas and saying, come get me. And then Richard Sherman tore his Achilles tendon, and you got rid of the coach who was the defensive coordinator. Because all this, to me, goes back to the Super Bowl loss. That locker room, that defense blamed the offense and Russell Wilson for not getting that ring, and it's been bad blood. So I think that they realize, okay, Russell Wilson is the franchise. The quarterback trumps everything else. We're cleaning house and starting over on the defense.
Yeah.
So I think Earl Thomas will be part of that because they'll say, that's $9 million we can save.
Yep.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Like I said.
Well, I mean, I had already said they were going to cut him. I said it on my channel.
Oh man, Steamin' Willie beaming, dude. Really? Tebow made it closer to the Super Bowl than Dak. Read between the lines, buddy. Read between the lines.
Actually, that's not true.
How long has Dak been in the league? How long has Dak been in the league? He just completed his second year.
And guess what? He's never had a losing season.
Actually,
he has not had a losing season.
Stephen Willie Beeman, you're wrong because we had a bye. Didn't he win the wild card game?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
so
anyway, everybody who's tuned in, I got my man John, I got my man Irvin, I've got my son Michael. We're sitting here with NFL Network on, watching Minnesota versus the Saints.
It's a
missing football.
No, it's the top 10 best games of the season or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
There's your man.
And we're not in any of those.
Oh, there he is. Cowboys legend. Oh, I'm coward Joe Boo right now. Okay. Well, I appreciate the comments and all that, the thumbs down and stuff, because you, my friend, are helping my SEO. And that is search engine optimization, if you didn't know what that means. which means you are helping the Jobu channel become more popular. So,
thank you.
Appreciate it. Now, I don't know why you hate me. I don't know why you think that I'm a bandwagon fan, because you go through my man cave here, everything is Dallas Cowboys. Sure. I have been a Dallas Cowboy fan before, you were a gleam in your daddy's eye. Back before the Dallas Cowboys ever even won a Super Bowl, okay? Before the term bandwagon was even there. I was born, my friend, the year of the Ice Bowl. And my first memories of life were sitting on the couch beside my father outside of Washington, D.C., as he, known as Cowboy Ty, was a Dallas Cowboy fan. So you can call me bandwagon all you want. You can go ahead and say that I'm a coward or whatever. I've been here reaping the Dallas Cowboys all my life. And apparently you're not having too much effect because people are still subscribing to my channel. But I dare say, my man, if you spend as much time on your channel as you do on mine,
you'll be very successful.
Maybe you get a few more subscribers. But anyway, be that as it may, I'm sorry, I kind of lost focus here, guys.
Okay. Sometimes you have to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, or the dumbass in the room.
Can I go back to the dead situation?
Yeah, Joseph. Okay. Joseph, I hope you got the picture of what I was actually making up in the shop there, because that's going to be going up right here in the studio in the next day or two. I got to get the glass made and so on. But shout out to you. Hopefully your wife's doing a lot better.
The only way...
Wait a minute. Steamin' Willie Beeman. Hold on, wait a minute. I thought you were an Eagles fan. The Eagles will be one and done? I've been saying that myself because here's the thing that's interesting, and it's great.
Picked apart.
Listen, Eagle fans, have at it. Enjoy yourselves. I would be doing the same thing you're doing too if I had never won a Super Bowl either. After having all those years of watching other teams have the glory, you know what? I'd be just throwing up all over the place too, talking about my Eagles. But what you have to understand is nobody has repeated in the NFC East since the 2003-2004 season. And that includes the Giants winning Super Bowls. In fact, the last two years that the Giants won the Super Bowl, they didn't make the playoffs. And in fact, the Giants have not won a playoff game since the last Super Bowl. So maybe you guys will buck the trend, but it's not a given. And I'm sorry, I'm dominating the conversation here, guys.
Okay. It's your channel, buddy.
No, we're just football fans having fun here.
No, what were you saying about
the only way that cutting deads works is if they decide to bring Bryce Butler back.
Bryce Butler's going
exactly. That changed everything. That changed everything.
He burned too many damn bridges.
I
mean, from First Take to his other interviews.
That was
every time he
Undisputed. He was on Undisputed too.
And then if you follow him on Twitter, he was atting Jimmy Garoppolo. Hey, did you take all the money? Is there any money left out there? Ha 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 ha. Go back to the Bay, bro. Nobody wants you.
That's the only issue. That's what changed in between the season ending, is that Bryce Butler burned all his bridges.
He burned all his bridges.
So cutting dead is like, where do you find a replacement? Where do you find it?
If Bryce had never said anything, it could have been a possibility that he could have been a star. If he would have shut his damn mouth, he probably would have got what he wanted. Because then, in that case, they could have cut Dez. Mm-hmm. Bryce could have took that spot to be a compliment with T. Will, and then they could have drafted another player like Christian Kirk. I like him
exactly.
But again, that didn't happen. He burned those bridges. He's gone. He's gone, bro. That's done.
Yeah, exactly.
That's done.
Exactly. So that's why I've changed my position to we have to keep Dez.
Yeah.
Like as much as his production hasn't been what it is, like you gotta bring an understudy in. And then cut him next year.
I mean, who you gonna get? I mean, like I said, everybody wants to get Jarvis Landry. Okay,
it's too much money.
How much is he gonna cost? And like Mark said, they're gonna open that investigation up. Do you guys want to deal with that again? Because I know I don't want to deal with that. We just dealt with this. We don't need. First of all, you got a star on your helmet. You're America's team. You're gonna get backlash all year, regardless. Every season, we're gonna get this. But at the same time, you want to eliminate that stuff from happening. That's the only reason why I don't want Jarvis Landry here. It has nothing to do with him as a player. It's more on the drama that's going to come around with it.
As a free agent, you're going to overpay everybody you bring in.
Emmanuel Sanders, I don't know what his health is like.
If I'm going to bring in free agents, it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball,
Yeah,
period,
definitely.
or swing tackle.
I want a linebacker because we're gonna lose Anthony Hitchens because I don't see how we're gonna pay him. I don't see it. I would love to keep him, but again, he's going to the Colts, y'all. I'm telling you this right now. What's the date today? February 18th. I'm telling y'all right now, he's going to the Colts. Why? Because that's where Matt Eberflus is. Well, and that's his boy.
Well, here's the thing.
We're gonna
in
lose
the draft
because they need linebackers.
In the draft, we've seen bottom line guys that you can get in the draft. There are multiple guys that you can get that will be better than Hitchens right now.
No, I'm gonna tell you this, and I spoke about this morning. There's only 3 top linebackers in the draft this year. Everybody else is some shit. You got Tremaine Edmonds. He's the best linebacker coming out of the draft out of my wife's school, Virginia Tech. And then you have what's the other guy's name? I wrote him down. You got Kai Moore. After that,
you don't like the guy from Boise State, Van.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
What was that?
Is it like Van Der Esch or something like that?
Something like that. But
because we only need a guy to play strong side. We don't need a guy to be in the middle. We just need a guy to play.
The problem is their weaknesses of this. They're aggressive, which is good. They're great tacklers, which is great. But the weakness is they jump the pocket too fast. They shoot the gap. So say, for instance, I'm going to tell you guys in layman's terms. So say if this is our offense, right? Dak's in shotgun. Dak's in formation. He fakes a handoff to Ezekiel Elliott going to the right. He holds the ball because we've seen this a lot. He goes to the left, runs 17, 18 yards. That linebacker shoots down coming towards Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott ain't got the ball. The ball's on the other side of the field. See, these guys are good, but their weaknesses are they're not thinking before they react. They're reactionary guys. They shoot the gaps too fast and then they get washed out the play. Do we need that? No, because we already got that with Jalen Smith, and that's because they drop foot.
So you don't like Rashad Evans?
Can we get him? Is the thing.
Well, I'm hypothetically, right? Let's say everybody.
We can't get Tremaine Edmonds.
Oh yeah, I know.
Tremaine is like gonna be in the top 5. That's a wash.
Yeah. Hypothetically, let's say everybody that we want at 19 is gone, and we end up trading back, right? And we end up getting.
I don't want to trade back.
But you know that's a possibility with us all the time.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't want to trade back, because you could get either Vita Vea, which okay, you get Taven Bryan, which Taven Bryan is he should be there at 19.
You think he's gonna go? You think he's gonna be there at 19? Or
yeah, I think so. Because
Vita
Vea is gonna go before him.
What didn't he have injury concerns?
I mean,
yeah. That's my thing. I always thought that he'd be like a second.
If it was my choice, get Will Hernandez, the guard, the offensive guard. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Tyron Smith, Will Hernandez, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and then you got Collins on there. It's gonna be. Yeah. Me and Mark can run up these holes. I'm telling you, like it's gonna be truck stop holes going up that middle. And Ezekiel Elliott's gonna eat all damn day.
Yeah.
If they give him
that's what we need in the first round.
For me, I was.
And we could get a linebacker. We could get a linebacker in the second round, and then we can address everything else going forward.
Okay.
But I believe that Will Hernandez is who we need to get right there in that first round.
Well, Cowboys by nature says why not trade up? Now,
see the thing about trading up is fine, but what do we have to give up? We don't have a 5th round because remember we gave that to the Jets to get Xavier Woods in the 6th round last year, but that turned out to be well because Xavier Woods is a good player. So we don't have a 5th, but now that we have 4 compensatory picks, one of them actually might be a 5th round, so we might get that 5th pick back because of the players that we lost.
Who would you trade up for? There's a couple guys there's one guy I would.
There's only one guy, and I just said his name. There's only one guy I would trade up for, and that's Tremaine Edmonds. If you're going to trade up, you're going to have to go all the way to 6 to get Tremaine Edmonds.
Well, hold on. Let me go back here real quick. To being personal, I hate trading up.
I do too.
Trading up, not only to me, here's my philosophy is this. I don't care where you draft. It's a crapshoot. You got a 50-50 chance of hitting or missing.
Yeah.
So why risk more picks? Because you look at Morris Claiborne when we moved up to get him on 5th.
Yeah, he got hurt this year too.
Can't miss pick
with the Jets.
Yeah.
Best player, defense.
But you would have never known that because he was never injured in college.
Yeah, but still. But here's the problem, though. Not only did you mess up with that first pick, that second pick should have been a starter on your team.
Yeah.
So you not only missed with him, you missed with the second guy. Look at what happened with the Washington Redskins trading all the number one picks they did for RG3 going up and getting there.
Yeah.
You missed on that one, you set your franchise back. Yeah. And I hate to say it, when was the last time you saw New England trade up for somebody?
But
they don't. They trade back and try and create.
Every damn year, so they're 31 and 30.
I mean, he didn't play.
they got the last pick in the first round every year. Wouldn't you go back to the second every year? I would go back every year.
Yeah, but people laughed at us. People laughed at us when we went back and picked up Travis Frederick.
I didn't laugh. I
remember all the talking heads. The Cowboys traded back to take a center. There's that. I remember that was Adam Schefter, and they ended up with that extra pick.
That was when we were talking about Manziel.
Okay? That was now you picked up an extra starter out of that draft, and you got arguably one of the best centers in football. Now I'm not saying that it's always that way, but I would rather have more picks than less picks.
We have 10.
But be that as it may. My Cowboys family said our most important free agent is Anthony Hitchens.
And yes.
Now I don't think we're going to be able to keep him.
Him and Lawrence, but Lawrence. I think
he
Lawrence
put him above
Lawrence. No, he's not above Lawrence. He's not.
Lawrence was not.
You gotta have that pass.
You gotta have Tank.
You gotta have Tank. You gotta have Tank. I would say.
Stephen Willie Beeman says Stephen Willie Beeman, for an Eagle fan, you actually comment more than Cowboy ones. Kirk Cousins is better than Dak Prescott.
Hell no.
I'm sorry. How many times has Kirk Cousins beat Dak Prescott?
Never.
That's a good point.
Never.
0-4.
He's 0-4, I believe. I'm just saying.
He's going to the Broncos, y'all. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
He's going to the Broncos.
That's
DJ Cobb's great point. Roy Williams, and again, that was that is the Will McClay effect on the team. The Cowboys stopped doing crazy stuff like let's get Roy Williams. Yeah. Let's give up 2 number ones for that guy.
No.
The only position that I would trade up for, if it's a can't miss, is as a safety because we haven't had a real safety in a long time.
Is there a safety in the first round in the top 10 that you're trying to go for?
I really like Derwin James.
See, you gotta go real high to get Derwin James because
he's projected in mock drafts. It depends.
In mock drafts, he's right behind Sam Darnold.
But we see this every year. Right now, there's nobody throwing. There's no glitz and glam for the quarterback position. Which, what we really need is for quarterbacks to move up that board. You know what I mean? And it happens every year.
They're not going to because the Giants need one. They're picking second, and you know goddamn well the Cleveland Browns need one.
Buffalo.
Oh shit!
Cleveland Browns.
I've got to put this comment out here.
No, Cleveland.
This comment came all the way from frickin' England. Kevin Costner was good in draft day. Should we give him a job?
Cleveland needs him, but they're not going to draft
that's Mark Sampson from England.
Oh, is that the one that won your?
Yeah, he's the one that won. Yeah,
won.
He's shout out to all the people that have joined in. We got Chris, we got DJ Cobbs, we got Maverick One, Lauren, we got Mark Simpson, DJ Crown, my Cowboys family, of course Stephen Willie Beeman. Lord knows he's been all over this thing. William Pete, Cowboy fan Cowboy fan 2 I die. Isn't it until I die? But okay. 80s Ken doll. I am the least knowledgeable out of the group. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cowboys 12, DeMorris Hanson, Chris Stone, Angela Nevada, Cowboys by Nature, Austin Klein, Ron Smith. Wow. AJ, how you doing, AJ? Hope to see you at training camp again this year. And anybody else that I missed, we'll go through and give some shout-outs to people and all that. It's game day. Unfortunately, there's no football games right now. But got my man John over here, as well as Irvin over here as well as Michael. And we're actually talking about plans for the Cowboys, talking about the draft, as well as hopefully having a trip to the draft as well. So we thought we'd do a little live stream, introduce everybody to you guys, and see what you guys are doing this game day.
Definitely follow our YouTube channels.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Derek George shouts out to every Cowboy fan. Amen to that. And it's amazing how many Bird Gang. I mean, come on, Dwayne. You
guys have your own channels, man?
I'm wondering.
You would they like Mark. They love Mark.
I mean, EDP's
you would
the only
figure
one.
that they would be all like having parties on Eagle channels.
Let the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. First of all, wouldn't be no live streaming. This basement would be lit, man. I'm telling you.
Cowboys 42 says we need Vita Vea.
Just don't get the MVP award. Don't get it.
Vita Vea.
I like him.
Vita Vea is 350 pounds.
Big
Listen, though.
He's a goddamn fire hydrant. That's what he is. He's a fire hydrant.
That's what were we talking about earlier? Because that's the problem with
our investments at linebacker.
Thank you. That's exactly because here's the thing. We had David Irving playing one technique. David Irving is not that big. I mean, he did okay. I mean, he got 5 sacks in there.
David Irving needs to be on the end.
But thank you. He needs to be on the end. You need a big, immovable force in the middle that demands double teams to keep your linebackers clean.
Vita Vea will be perfect right there because, like I said, he's 350 pounds. He's
listed though, so that means he's more than that.
Well, sometimes they make it an inch taller.
No, I meant weight wise.
Oh, weight wise, yeah. What is he? 6'3", 350?
DeMorris Hanson. You know, I love you Eagle fans because it's so funny. Regardless of what I do, you guys say either I'm riding your coattails and I'm in your head because if I respond to you guys, it's like you're only focusing on us. If I say anything about why are you guys here, then of course you can't take a little banter. I'm just literally in a no-win situation. You know, I'm not losing sleep because you Eagles finally won a Super Bowl. Congratulations, okay? To me, what I love about football more than anything else, and growing up, was watching my dad with his buddies, my uncles and people he worked with and stuff, talking trash, having the $5, $10 bets and stuff like that. And when his team would win, you know, how proud he was, or seeing him dejected when he had to listen to all them trolling him and everything else. To me, that's one of the greatest things about football, is the fact that, yeah, you guys are on top now. You guys are talking trash to us. We're kind of feeling low and all that. We're working on getting our team better and things. This is your moment. It's the whole thing about football. If you don't like the trash talking, then you're definitely in the wrong sport. Thoughts?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, football, first of all, is a barbaric sport. Well, it used to be anyway.
It still is.
Shout out to Derek, fan from Virginia, man. One of my homies.
What happened to Virginia Finest?
Virginia Finest is in here. He was in here.
Yeah, he pops in, pops out.
Yeah.
Says hello and then keeps going.
What free agent wide receiver should we target?
You know what? I was looking on the list, and the guy that I really, 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 really liked for our roster, I really liked Sammy Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Bryce Butler messed up everything, I don't want a free agent receiver, because if we cut Dez Bryant, we're gonna end up overpaying somebody else, and eventually kicking their money down the road. I want to draft a receiver. I don't want a free agent receiver. Period.
What do y'all think about the receivers we already have on the roster? I actually like
two and three on my pod.
No, I'm not talking about the ones that play. I'm talking about the ones that haven't.
I would love to see.
I'm talking specifically Lance Lenoir.
I want to see what Brown can do.
Okay. I tell you who I would like to see on the field, and I'm hoping that one concussion was not. Well, Noah Brown, I love his size.
Yes.
I would like to see him. I would have no problem if the Cowboys said, okay.
He looks like Dez on the field.
Thank you. I would have no problem if the Cowboys said, you know, we're going to cut Dez and give him the opportunity to be the number one.
Yeah.
Because the thing with Dez, like I said, and I know I'm not putting it all on Dez because I still believe a lot of it goes back to coaching. Okay.
Yeah,
our offense was so predictable that teams knew what to do. Okay. You know, after 2016, our offensive line opened up holes so big that Zeke Elliott would get a head of steam on and nobody would touch him for 4 yards. And what defensive coordinators realized was, hey, look, we can't just sit back and wait for him to get a hole. We need to shoot gaps. We need to penetrate more and make him have to make a move because the Cowboys didn't change jack. with Dez Bryant getting older, having the injuries and things like that, having the lack of route running ability, you could cover him one-on-one. Then you could put 2 men on Cole Beasley in the slot. And you're forced now, Dak Prescott, to try and find guys that aren't getting separation. Mm-hmm. So teams ended up figuring out what we do because we didn't change anything. You look at the Eagles. The Eagles did so much shit you didn't know where it was coming from next. Yeah. First down, we're running the ball. And instead of us getting 4 or 5 yards on first down, we're getting 1 yard or we're getting a holding penalty.
I was jealous watching them play. I was like, why the hell can't we do this?
So part of the problem with Dez is route running and the offense is predictable. And part of the problem, I believe, with Dak Prescott is offense being predictable.
Yeah, agreed.
But we're running the same offense that we did back in the 90s.
Doing the same thing. They got to move him around.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you didn't see any creativity.
None at all.
Yeah, and that's got to change.
I mean, can we get a Cowboy special?
Thank you.
Because Dak is very capable of doing that. You see him front flipping to the end zone. He's a mobile quarterback. You got a mobile quarterback with a dynamic running back? Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell you're going to tell me that you can't do something.
Facts. And you know what else, too? Look at the Super Bowl and what they kept talking about, the narrative, about what they did with Nick Foles as far as making him successful with the run-pass option. Yeah. Every time we are in a position where we have the run-pass option or the run option, Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott, they rip it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Make it Dak friendly.
Well,
it's still Tony Romo
friendly. You just said the
key word.
It's Tony Romo friendly. Tony Romo friendly.
We are still running Tony Romo's offense.
Right.
This offseason,
that's why it worked his first year.
The offense has to be geared toward Dak. This is his team
Dak,
now.
And
that's why he was good the first
Dak
year.
Dak is deadly outside of the pocket. On the naked bootlegs. When you've got Zeke Elliott rolling, you got Flo going to the left, you do a naked bootleg outside, he's got space, you got one-on-one coverage because they're worried about stopping Zeke Elliott, and boom, he will hit him. But we don't run enough of this stuff. We don't do enough misdirection, and like you said, we don't do enough run option passes. If you've got Dak running out here, and the question is, if I'm the defensive end, do I take Dak or do I take the guy in between there? You're in a no-win situation. Yeah. Take a look at RG3 when RG3 was a rookie against DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware literally, when they did the run option pass, just stopped. Yeah. He didn't know what the heck to do. Do I go after him or do I go out in coverage?
You remember when?
And that's what we don't do. Our offense just does not. We're so damn freaking rigid.
When he had to keep telling Dez where to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying every play needs to be a read option. I'm saying incorporate it more.
Yeah.
To where you don't know when it's coming.
Because again, when they watch tape on the Cowboys, all you see is the same shit over. First of all, we sit here. How many Sundays did we sit here? And you can sit here and watch the game, and I know you other Cowboy fans do the same thing at home. You sit there, and we're in the red zone.
We're
on the 20-yard line. You're like, oh, it's going to be a fade to Dez. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be an option read to the left or the right. You know what's going to happen before it happens every time. Every damn time. I'm sitting on the couch, I'm like, and they do exactly what I say. Every time. So if I'm sitting on the couch... What makes you think
Jason Garrett says Mark Njoku sucks. That's it. I'm out. Okay.
Wait, what?
So, Jason Garrett says I suck. Oh. They're out. Sorry, Jason. Man, didn't mean to go ahead and talk trash about you. I appreciate that.
Now I did a video last week on Dak's tight windows throw and the fact that he led the league in tight window throws. Now, granted, I know to a lot of people that
was a surprise. Yeah.
I was shocked.
He probably had way more than
everybody. The people that he beat out are great quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Stafford, Case Keenum was on that list. And who's the other guy? Andy Dalton. And he was the leader in all of the categories except for one. He was fourth.
Well, here's the thing that surprised me because
another stat came out. He's not accurate. That's the reason why I was saying when people kept saying
receivers number 3 at tight window catches. Number 3.
Oh,
Dez Bryant.
That's because every catch he makes is
was that's
true. That's also,
okay, that makes sense.
That's
true.
also because it was either over the shoulder or some
back shoulder fade or slant.
Anything that's a yard or less separation.
Yeah,
that's a tight window.
This is true. What's funny is somebody just said that they haven't seen any Eagle fans before this season on this channel, which is a fact. It used to be Giants fans that were all in here until the beginning of last season.
They all took a hiatus. They're in hibernation right now.
Mark's channel blew up recently. What does that mean when we're here? It's been pretty steady, I would say, my man. But if you think it's all because of the Eagle fans in here, slow clap for Eagle fans. Okay.
Interception. That was it.
Jobu is an undercover Eagle fan. Read between the lines, my man. Read between the lines.
I would say Jobu upgraded. Moved from Cleveland to Dallas, right?
And we got Sven all the way from Germany in the house, too. Welcome to the channel, my man, Sven.
I love to see the international fans. What's going on, Roscoe? You all right?
Noah's getting some playing time during the end of the season. I expect to see a major jump. You know, and again, that's where, you know, a lot of times you got guys, you know, they'll say you need to sign somebody who's a name. Well, you're not a named person until you are.
Exactly.
You know, when you look at
everybody's a nobody until you
did you think DeMarcus Lawrence was going to have the season that he had this year?
I knew that was going to happen.
Because remember the year before, okay, now he had a great season his second year, but then he only had one sack last year, or, you know, the year before. Had back surgery in the off season. You did not think that he was going to get that many sacks. Nobody did. He came out of left field because we kept saying, okay, we drafted Taco, he's going to have to be our big thing, and should we go ahead and try and sign a pass rusher?
But what also helps him is the fact that you have other D linemen that the offense is afraid of.
Oh. Yeah.
If you only have one person, they're going to get double team, triple team.
Definitely.
But your whole line has to be cohesive for you to do anything.
So can somebody explain this to me? This is coaching to me. When Lawrence was out hurt last year, and we get Irving as defensive end, he was killing folks. Why wouldn't you line them up opposite of each other?
Left and right side?
Why wouldn't you do that? And you can switch them. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, but you really did not have the beast to go in the middle. And figuring that you had Tyrone Crawford outside, which
Crawford should have been that guy in the middle.
Well, I thought they tried to
Crawford. I thought Crawford was big. I thought Crawford was not that. Listen,
I thought they put him at 3.
Crawford is my build, just taller.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not quite.
No, he's tall.
He's tall. He's about 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, yeah,
but he's not that big a guy. Because I remember meeting him, I was like, damn.
Yeah, I remember too.
He's kind of skinny. And the Cowboys like a lot of length in their defensive ends. But see, you need a fire plug.
Marinelli is real. He loves quick, small guys.
Yeah, but
he doesn't necessarily want a refrigerator with arms.
I'm okay with that on the outside, but give me two big studs in the middle that you can't move.
Let's go ahead and get Vita Vea.
Because you don't want to have that quarterback being able to step up. If he can't step up, and you got pressure on the outside,
what did we say? Vita Vea. Let's go back. 6'5", 340 pounds.
There you go.
Fire hydrant with legs. Let's go.
There you go. And he's got that anchor.
Let's get him.
And and see the thing about it is, if you get a guy like that, okay, imagine if he's getting the double teams. Because you're worried about him, that push up there. Okay. So what does that do for DeMarcus Lawrence? What does that do for David Irving on the other side? And if you can get Collins healthy.
Eat like Ezekiel.
I touched on that in my video the other day. Guys, go check it out.
When you look at the Giants when they won their Super Bowl, and as much as Eli Manning, the Super Bowl MVP quarterback, it wasn't him that got him there. It was that pass rush. And you could look at their defensive backfield. There was no Hall of Famers on that defensive backfield. No. None of those. They had Jason Sehorn one year. Jason Sehorn.
You know what? One of my Howard teammates was actually on that team. He got a Super Bowl ring. He played in the Super Bowl. He lined up against Terrell Owens. And it pissed me off. No, it didn't piss me off. I was very happy for him.
But you get what I'm saying. It was that pass rush that got him there, okay? And that is key. If you've got a great pass rush, and that's what I always say, you get the biggest bang for a buck with a defensive line. Yeah. You can have a great corner, but if you don't have a pass rush, they're not going to be able to hold up for 7-8 seconds. Exactly. I don't care who they are. If it's Deion Sanders out there, or they'll go someplace else. But if you've got a great pass rush, a great defensive line that's only giving the quarterback 2 seconds,
not only does it help the cornerbacks, but also helps your linebackers from having to take on too many blocks. And we need that because we don't need Sean Lee to keep taking on all these blocks. Because we know how Sean Lee is.
Right.
He's a great player. He loves to get in there, and he goes 110%. And because he's that type of player, we need that defensive line. So again,
Cowboy 42 said Vita Vea played fullback in high school and had speed.
So who's that?
I believe it.
Vita Vea played fullback.
Laterally, he moves very well laterally.
And he's light on his feet to be as big as he is.
Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year. Yeah. The Rams are here to stay. Okay.
What's that?
What?
He adds more depth at end because then you're able to move David Irving out to
back
end.
To end
and
where
you got Taco behind them, so it's a fresh, fresh rush.
I don't know. You guys have to go. Sunday night and all that. I mean, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I don't know if you guys want to continue the live stream that we're doing here, or so on. I mean, we're guys. We just talk about football all the time and things. So I can do this all night. But the huddle around talk about a bunch of damn losers. Of course, the Eagle fans. Gotta love you guys.
They come here and talk about Wentz and Foles.
Yeah, they said we should trade for Foles. They'll be more than happy to take our picks for the next 20 years. Yeah, good luck with that one. But I tell you what, I'm hopeful for. I wanted Jason Garrett gone. Okay? No. I know. But, he is the prodigal son. He is Jerry Jones' man, and I get that. Hopefully this year is the hot seat. But what I do like is the fact that they got Chris Richard.
I love that.
Okay, and I'm thinking that they are slowly. Rod Marnelli has bad hip and everything else. He's getting up there in age, 68, 67, and he's still talking about dinosaurs. He compared David Irving to dinosaurs. So if you are using terms like dinosaurs, you might be old.
Yeah.
One of the things that drove me crazy so many times last year was looking at us giving up 7-8 yard cushions week after week and just seeing quarterbacks, boom, 5 yard out.
Because Marinelli wants our secondary to sit back. He wants everything to be in front of you.
I know the philosophy. I understand the philosophy is, look, we'll give up 5 yards. And we'll keep doing that and wait for you to make a mistake. Either you'll get a penalty or you'll get a turnover or something will happen, but we're not going to give up the big play. But with that, since the 2014 season we were second in turnovers and takeaways. We haven't done jack. We've gone week after week where we don't get an interception. Yeah. And that is the biggest statistic in my mind that has to change because those are game changers. When you turn over the ball, when your offense is all of a sudden, your defense is now having to come on the field unexpectedly, that's when you get the big plays. You look at Ryan Switzer's fumble, that was the point where that game, the tide turned. You gave the ball up on the 15-yard line, they go in and score, they get momentum.
My question was, where was the coaches?
Well,
he was looking for pitiful on the sideline.
No, that is what it is. That's a whole other thing. But I think Chris Richard, he's already getting a lot more power, and I'm hoping that this is kind of like the Will McClay deal. Will McClay, for him not to have even interviewed for the Texans, tells me that you may not have the name tag of GM, but you're really the GM. Money. He's got the money.
Jerry's paying him.
And I'm thinking that Chris Richard is beginning to be the guy that's taking over. The fact that we've already now been told that Byron Jones is probably going to be staying at corner.
That's all him.
Yeah, that's definitely him. And I'm hoping that Rod Martinelli keeps working with the defensive line. He works miracles, like we were talking about George Selvin. Yeah. He works miracles with guys that you don't think can play. But I want to see that defense get aggressive. Yeah. I want to see us in people's faces. I want to see us chucking people off the line and knocking them off of the roof.
They got the heart.
Oh, yeah. You can't tell me that Woods isn't a hitter.
Oh, he is.
You can't tell me that Kevon, I'm not sure, if he's ready to be.
Kevon can hit.
He can hit too. Now I'm not sure if he is the guy to be the everyday starter at safety.
Not yet.
But
but that's depth though, because would you rather start with him day one as a starter, or if somebody goes down, then he?
No, that's why I said I want to go ahead and get Earl Thomas in there. He can be that leader. He can be that leader back there. He can help them along the way with Chris Richard's defense, what he's trying to implement, and then they can just get in there, and then they can just be cohesive. And come on now, them boys, they gonna play. They gonna play.
Yeah, I think it's worth giving up some picks to get him. Or if he's not cut, if he's cut,
they're gonna cut him. I'm gunning on them cutting him.
If he's cut, you got to get him, and you got to cut Dez.
He's basically their Bryce Butler.
Okay.
His bridges is burned.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because you're on the Dez train. If it came down to signing Earl Thomas, you had to cut Dez. Would you do it?
We would just have to get rid of him. We'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of.
To me, that's
a no-brainer to me.
But the problem is this: now you're hoping that Noah Brown is going to step in. You're hoping that maybe Lance Lenore can make the team, and you're hoping that you could draft somebody. So all of this is speculation.
Hope. But
everything is hope right now.
That's an any team.
You know what? That's every year. There's no guarantees. As my man said,
next man.
There's 100% chance of injuries.
Yeah.
You could keep Des Bryant, and guess what? Play one, he could end up busting his ankle and be gone for the year. Then what?
There'll be 30 other guys
then
trying to vie for a spot.
Yeah.
And at some point, you got to say, we brought this guy in here for a reason. Let's see what he can do.
I don't know.
And give him the opportunity.
I always thought the Des was always going to be a Cowboy, but I mean,
that stuff went way up. That whole stuff always man.
If you bring in Earl, you
and
gotta
that my friend,
one of them gotta go. Somebody gotta be gone. You gotta.
And that, my friend, is the reason why we're not winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because people keep thinking, oh man, DeMarcus Ware should have been retired. People still said you should be bringing in DeMarcus Ware, but DeMarcus Ware, when we let him go,
he's done.
When we always looked at Tony, go back and look at statistics. We always talked about Tony Romo couldn't play in December, but if you watch DeMarcus Ware's stats, he gets the majority of his stats in September, October. By December, not so much.
Yeah.
And the last couple of years here, he did not do much of anything in December, which is part of the team's collapsing. And don't get me wrong, DeMarcus Ware was an incredible player.
Well, towards the end of his career with the Cowboys, we didn't have anybody else, like I said. We didn't have anybody else to offset those double teams.
Hold on.
Well,
2013, you had Jason Hatcher, had 11.
Oh, yeah, we had Hatcher. But again, they let him go to the Eagles.
No, the Redskins.
I mean, the Redskins, yeah.
But that was a contract year, too.
He had 11, he had
11 with the Cowboys, and then he basically went back to his norm.
4.
Yeah, with the Reds, 3 or 4. Well, yeah, he basically averaged like 3.7 before that one season, which was a contract year. So, but here's the amazing thing, because as you go through, and you say, I wouldn't want to give up Dez because, we got these other guys. Well, in 2013, at the end of the season, we lost to Marcus Ware because we let him go. Jason Hatcher went to the Redskins, who had 11 sacks.
Right.
Sean Lee got injured first play of OTAs. We lost those 3 players. Now, we had historically the worst defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And people said, the Cowboys, wait a minute, you lost Hatcher, Lee, and DeMarcus Ware? That defense isn't going to stop a high school team. But you know what?
Yeah.
They moved up to 19th in the NFL. With guys that, who are these guys?
Well,
so when you say that, we might take a step back. Maybe
stepped in for Lee that year.
But he's a thumper. He was the thumper that we needed in the middle, so that SeanLee can be on the weak side.
He left in free agency too.
But
I actually like Tagoro McClain.
No, it wasn't free agent. He's not in the football anymore. Rolando.
I like Rolando too.
But he again. That's no. But see, he didn't do jack. He went to the Redskins.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't do jack.
I didn't see him.
That is another one. That's another one of the products of Rod Marnelli. Rod Marnelli takes guys that hadn't done anything anywhere.
Because then we get him from the Texans originally.
Yeah. And he didn't do anything in Texas, but he did well with us. They get paid. George Selby was the same way. George Selby was with Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Jacksonville, and somebody else, and had 3 sacks in 4 years.
Yeah.
We got 8 sacks out of him with Rod Marinelli. He goes to the Giants, gets the big fat contract,
They don't do jack shit.
and he was out of the league the next year. And that's the whole effect of Rod Marinelli. That's why I don't want to see Rod Marinelli go completely. I would just be happy to have him. Just focus with your bad hip on the defensive line, okay? But let's get aggressive with our defensive backfield. Let's try and get that ball. Let's try and get some turnovers. Get into some guys' faces. Brust up guys in that 5-yard chuck. Don't let them get into the roots untouched.
Yeah. I have a question. Was Marinelli on the staff in Tampa Bay with Kiffin?
Yes.
He was, right?
Yeah.
They had a guy named Warren Sapp.
Well, they did have a one.
In that same scheme that we're running today.
Yeah.
So
There's a difference.
guess what? He was a fire hydrant? Did you say?
Yeah.
That's why I said. Vita Bay at 65.
Okay, we're officially on the Vita Bay bandwagon.
All right.
Okay, all right. All in favor of Vita Bay. Oh, man. I want to thank everybody who's been joining in on this live stream. You know, we're just trying to make it through a Sunday without football and stuff. And actually, this has actually been a ball here, just sitting here talking football and the drafted things. I hope you guys have been enjoying. I'm trying to get to a bunch of your comments and stuff. Clap on, clap off by Jason Garrett. I love that. You better get Nick Foles because Dak is trash. Okay. Eagles fans, how about your quarterback that can last the whole season and win playoff games and a Super Bowl? Okay.
Well, your quarterback.
Jimmy Johnson clapped too. But Jimmy Johnson put a foot in people's ass while he was also clapping too. So that's the difference right there. Here, can you imagine? Let's go. Let's think about this for a second. Could you imagine if Jimmy Johnson was the coach when Dez Bryant melted down this past season?
Oh, he'd shut that shit.
Okay, wait. Dez Bryant. Wait. Let's get the look now.
The camera wouldn't even.
If Dez Bryant was sitting here on the sidelines with Jimmy Johnson as the coach, what would have happened right then and there?
He'd have snatched his ass up.
If Dez Bryant was sitting
I
on,
don't think he would have sat. I don't think he would have done it.
if Dez Bryant was
wouldn't
sitting on the
have.
sidelines like this,
I'm not gonna say that he wouldn't allow him to be flamboyant because he allowed Michael Irvin to be flamboyant, but Michael Irvin was a leader.
Michael Irvin was a different.
Yeah, he was a leader.
His flamboyance was different.
but if Jimmy Johnson was the coach, and Dez Bryant did that on the sidelines, that on here, and then proceeded to turn the ball over, what would have happened?
I don't think he would have got back in.
He'd have chewed his ass. He'd have sat him down.
Yeah,
He wouldn't have been on that field. I'll tell you that.
Well, I don't think with Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy would have had him on the roster personally.
See, this is the issue.
Thank you.
This is.
I think he would have been traded.
This is one of.
I think he would have been traded the year before.
This is one of the criticisms I have on Dez. See, when Dez gets flustered or frustrated, when either he's not getting the ball or things don't go right in the game, what does he do? Like you just said, he and then he'll get when he does get the ball, he'll catch it, get so many yards after the catch, and then fumble the goddamn ball. And then when he fumbles the ball, it's like. Just concentrate on what you're doing.
Nah, that's okay. I don't want to be our quarterback coach. I appreciate it though, man.
Nah.
Let Wheaton. What's his name?
Chaz Green needs a pink slip. Okay. Let me acknowledge some of our great fans. Eduardo here, DJ Cobbs, Angela, Devin, Paco, Alan Baldino. I think he's a Giants, an Eagles fan. Gerald Beasley, Derek, George, so many daggone Eagles. Wonder Fuzz, let's draft Mark Holmes. Okay, you don't have to draft me. I'm already here. United Way commercial again. NFL Network. This is like the third time I've seen it since we've been live streaming. Sorry, had to PSA for my wife there. Cowboy 42 agrees with everybody else on
Vita Vea.
Double V.
Look, now, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, if we can't get Vita Vea, if somebody picks him before us, we got to get, the next choice has to be Will Hernandez. And if you guys don't know who Will Hernandez is, he's out of UTEP, Texas El Paso. Go look him up. You're going to think the same way I think when you look at stats up. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I can see him on that offensive line.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if he's on that line, that's going to open up for the wide receivers.
Does he remind you a lot of Leary? He kind of reminds me of Leary as far as like
I'm better, Leary.
He's a little bit like I say the comparison is because they both were kind of stiff, but they could kind of move to the next level.
Okay, yeah, because
he's much bigger than Leary.
Because Will Hernandez is a bowling ball.
Mr. McBarbecue.
He ain't got no neck. He blows guys off the ball. I mean, just at will. And I understand it's college, and it's going to be different when he gets to the pros. He's going to have to learn how to body grown men.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him.
Well, could you see him failing between being next to two All-Pros?
He's not going to fail. He is not going to fail between Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick. He's not going to. Put him right in there.
Okay.
And then you can sit Jonathan Cooper.
And he can be your swing guard.
He can be your swing, and then that means you could get rid of the other guys.
And I say free agency, go. Like, yeah, I agree. Chaz Green, pink slip, and just go sign a swing tackle. Somebody that.
Chaz Green is interesting to me because before that Falcons game, did he not do well? When you don't pay attention, when you don't pay attention, but when you don't pay attention to an offensive lineman or you don't see an offensive lineman, that means he's doing his job. Now, nobody really criticized him until that Falcons game. Now, I don't know what happened.
He always had an injury history. And you don't know if because here's the thing, you don't know if he had been injured going into that game. Because something wasn't right in that game.
It had to be. His confidence was low. I mean, it was a lot going on.
And this is the thing that we don't understand as fans, because basically the healthiest you are is first day of training camp.
That's it.
From that point on, you're going downhill. And what these guys do to stay on the field and worry about staying on the field to keep a job. Chaz Green going into last season was known as a guy who kind of was on the bubble because he couldn't stay healthy. It was kind of a disappointment in the draft. So he may have been out there because he was injured coming out of camp. He may have been playing on half a wheel or something for all we know. And that's the thing that we don't take into consideration, because I look at Dak Prescott in the first half of the season. Dak Prescott was playing really, really well until he hit that hand. They didn't talk about that hand that much.
They didn't,
but you can't grip the football. Your passing isn't going to be, and that beating that he took against Atlanta,
sure didn't help.
That changed things. And so I'm not making excuses, but they want to talk about the games that he didn't have any touchdown passes, but you also got to talk about those other 4 games or 5 games that he had 3 or more touchdown passes. So it wasn't like he was no touchdown passes every game every week. First half of the season, Zeke Elliott didn't start coming on until about the third or fourth game.
The third game of the season.
Zeke was averaging like 3.4 yards a carry first couple of games. And Dak put the team on his back. Oh my God! I watched that Green Bay game again.
Because they don't play him. They don't play him like that in preseason because they want to see the other guys. They already know what Zeke can do.
Well, and I tell you, when we went to training camp and we watched Zeke.
Oh yeah, Zeke looked depressed.
Well, one, he looked depressed. 2, he didn't touch the ball hardly at all in practice. They had him about 5 or 6 plays, and that was it. He was probably suspended day one. I think they were thinking he was going to be suspended, and they were trying to, But then it was the off and on. That whole thing played in the psyche, and this is where, like I said, I try and get into Jerry Jones' thinking on the whole Jason Garrett thing, and I think in his mind is thinking that with all of the shit that happened this past season, Tyron Smith, Sean Lee being hurt, with Dak Prescott regressing, with Elliott being suspended, we were still 5-1 in our division. You look at the Giants and you say the Giants are starting all over. I mean, they ain't got no place to go but up. Right. The Redskins are always the Redskins, and you've owned them. The Eagles, yes, they're Super Bowl champions, but you're going to have the hangover. They're going to come back down to earth. And you go through the up and down cycles that this should be an upswing year, and maybe I should stick with what I have. That's his thinking. I'm not saying that that's right because I look at these other teams.
I don't care if you were 13-3 or you were undefeated. You have to make changes every year because what teams do in the offseason, they study you. Once they get their schedule, especially if they're a team that don't play you every year, they're going to look at that schedule. They're going to look at the tape. They're going to see what y'all doing. And if you're not making changes, you're stupid. You're dumb if you're not making changes. I don't care if you were undefeated. You have to make changes every year. Look what happened when Larry went to the Broncos. I don't care what anybody says.
Larry gave him
that boy went up there and told them
exactly what to do.
Because we don't change nothing.
Right. The calls, everything.
We had that delay, it still didn't change.
I swear, because
there's no way
they were at the
Von Miller is right here.
They were at the point of the tag before Elliott even got there.
They knew.
Yes.
They knew. And I'm like, I've been saying that the whole time, but they weren't gonna admit that. Nobody's gonna admit that.
No, I said that. And before.
If you notice the game, if you can find that game, if you look at it, the offensive linemen were real chatty with Leary on, and you can see that I think it was Travis Frederick went up to him. He's like, you could tell when he was mouthing to him like, "What you doing, man? What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, mind you, they were cool when he was here.
Yeah.
It was a lot of animosity out there on that field.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Offensive linemen and
yeah. But that's why you have to see in football, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Yeah.
And I think the Cowboys drank their own Kool-Aid. They figured, well, damn.
They got caught.
We just got beat by one play at Aaron Rodgers. We've got the winning formula. We got the best offensive line in football. All we have to do is show up and maul people. We got Zeke Elliott. We're going to run down everybody's throat.
You still got to do the work.
But then you had the change with Doug Free and Ron Leary on the offensive line. You had is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Week after week. You had the offense being basically the same, and everybody knew exactly what you were going to do.
Yep.
And all those factors are there.
So making changes.
But here's my thing about the offensive line. Why are you chewing Leary out? Why don't you chew out your coaches?
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, coach.
Because that's the easiest
he knows all the calls.
That's the easiest thing to do because Leary probably looked at him out there and was like, ha ha.
I mean, he's trying to win. He's trying to win. I'd have done the same thing.
Well, Karma's a B because Leary ended up getting hurt again anyway.
What about Morgan Burnett? Triplets lead us to glory. What about Morgan Burnett for safety? He's a good veteran safety.
Where is he projected?
Morgan Burnett. I'm sorry, I don't know who Morgan Burnett is.
He's got to be a free agent.
Yeah, probably is.
He's got to be a veteran. I'll get back to you on that one, Triplets. Thank you for that one, Morgan Burnett.
Free agent. Got to be. I mean,
see, look what Derwin James is. 2. Yes.
From the Packers.
It depends. Because here's a lot of things that haven't happened. The combine, the pro days. Guys are injured and all of that type of stuff. That stuff.
But
happens.
those guys that are projected that high, I doubt that the combine is going to hurt them.
Pro days help quarterback. For some damn reason.
Morgan Burnett is from Green Bay Packers.
Oh, yeah.
I remember. Played in 12 games last year, 68 combined tackles, no sacks. 2016, 93 tackles. 68 the year before, 130 and 14. Yeah, maybe he can give us the book on Aaron Rodgers.
But see, Green Bay's been throwing since the first Super Bowl.
Mike McCarthy is not stupid. He's not going to do the same thing.
We're one play away from going to the Super Bowl.
Every time we play
the championship named after us.
Every time. It's all every time.
And you got to understand that, look, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre all them years, and he saw greatness.
That's right.
I mean, you already knew that he was going to be what he is. He is what he is. Like I said, same thing with Tom Brady. That's why I said if the Eagles would have actually lost the Super Bowl if they would have never got that ball back at the end because Brady had 3 minutes. Brady would have marched down that field and scored. It'd have been we'd have had a whole different conversation right now.
Are we trading for Earl Thomas? I don't think we have to trade for him. I think he's actually going to be cut.
We're going to wait for him to get cut. That's what we're going to do.
And that's one of those things that,
the smart thing would be, in my opinion, to trade for him, to get him, and we have him for that 1 year.
With that 1 year on the contract?
What are you willing to give up?
I'd be willing to give up as high as I'd be willing to give up a third.
Remember. Now, again.
Because we need a safety in the draft anyway.
We do. So, basically what you're saying, if we get him, we don't have to draft safety. Yep. Not in the high round.
Yeah.
You could use one of your compensatory picks to get a safety in the later rounds in like the 6th or 7th.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Andrew said the animosity between Cowboys fans and Packers is real. He once broke it off with a girl because she was a diehard Packers fan.
Smart choice.
They've been a thorn in our side since the
I had to say, what did she look like?
Right. Right.
Because they all got some kind of baggage.
She had to have been average for you to just do it that easily.
But think about it. You got Earl.
Because you're not giving up no dime piece because I mean, I'll probably be with somebody if they was a Redskin fan if they look good enough.
Should we go after DeMario Davis and Derek Johnson for better experience?
Well, DeMario Davis, yes.
Both is too much money, but
yeah.
I would definitely go with DeMario.
DeMario,
he only made $1 million last year.
We could get him for. I mean, they can negotiate something with him a little bit above better, get him like a $2 million year contract.
For DeMario, that.
He's gonna be more than that. He's gonna be more than that.
You don't think he's gonna accept that?
My shrimp and grits are good, but they're not that good. Okay.
I was gonna go to $2 million and a plate of shrimp and grits. I'm just saying.
Maybe five.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, you can keep going north.
First of all, they weren't gonna give Barry Church 6. What makes you think they're gonna give anybody 5?
It's okay.
Depends
on how much of a difference maker it is, because obviously with Barry Church, we still were finishing 32 in defense. A couple of those
Cowboys fans till I died. Dez in the 3rd round for Earl Thomas.
Ain't no one gonna trade for
Dez. Nobody's right. Yeah, nobody.
They'll get him on the free market. They'll get him on the free market.
Seattle is not taking his contract.
Because nobody's
they have less money than we do.
Nobody's going to take a $16 million contract.
We don't even want a $16 million contract.
First of all, the Browns have a lot of money, and they're probably not going to take that. Well, then again, they might take this. But what do you want from the? Oh yeah.
Why would they take that?
I think DeMarco Murray is getting cut. Should we bring him back as a backup?
No.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm not really against that. What if? I know
depends on how much money we talk.
Yeah, that's
probably
a big
way
thing.
out of left field. But what if you traded? He's not gonna want to go to the Browns.
Oh, come on.
No. Since we're talking about crazy stuff, let's put it this way: Browns got 2 picks in the 1st round. They got the 1st and the 4th.
They always have 2 picks in the 1st round.
Exactly. No, but they don't have them that close together though. If you get there,
it doesn't matter. They still don't mess them up.
If you get their 4th pick for.
Oh, come on.
Since we're talking out the side of our neck.
What are you drinking over there? That's great if you could get that, but that ain't going to happen.
I'm talking about fan logic, man. It's fan logic.
Harrison Phillips, 5.
Well, you know what?
It's so funny. The Eagles fans are just blowing up in here. Well, I don't know about you guys.
Unless y'all going to give us Alshon Jeffrey, I don't need to.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me ask you guys a question.
Okay.
Let's say everything that we want is gone and we can't trade back, but the best available position is one of these corners. Would you take a corner at 19?
You're going to have to go back because I don't think I think that all of the secondary players that's going to go in the 1st round is going to go well before 19.
What about... I mean, there's a couple of guys.
Corners. Corners. You got
because if corner is
there, the run is going to be quarterbacks
back.
and pass rushers. Cornerbacks, you can kind of get later on.
If
you look, that's the reason why they went.
Need a cornerback.
But there's nobody that we couldn't upgrade.
Well, let's see. I think you got. I think you got bigger needs.
We got
than
other needs, man.
Yeah.
We need defense.
To me, in my mind, the reason why we drafted Taco was
Hernandez.
But no, the reason why we drafted Taco was because of all the defensive linemen that were going off the board.
We could have got TJ Watt. Well,
but see, TJ doesn't. TJ didn't fit their size bill. They like that tall, lanky guy, and all that. And TJ did not fit that prototype, typical guy that they like to have.
So what you saying?
But see, they looked at. I think they looked at it and said, okay, Taco really should have been a 2nd round pick. I think.
Well, when you pick 27th.
Right.
That anything after 25.
But I think they looked at it and said, there's a lot of cornerbacks that are still left. We got a better shot of getting a good cornerback later on than we do getting a defensive pass rusher. Yeah. And so that's why they reached there. And I kind of feel the same way as far as cornerback goes, that we got too many other needs. And you figure that pass rushers the quarterbacks are going to go early.
Yeah, they are.
Without a doubt. Any quarterback that's any chance of being a decent player is going to go high, which is good for us because you want those guys to go. So hopefully you end up finding that safety or a big defensive lineman or possibly a great linebacker. But hopefully we have the doors open where we're getting a great player with one of these needs, be it offensive line, be it Vita Bay if he's there, or be it a great stud young linebacker. Yeah. And I think that the team needs to actually do more free agency. The Cowboys have a tendency to swing too far in one direction. I believe you're the one that said that. But when you think about it, when you looked at when they signed Brandon Carr for $55 million, and then they went Greg Hardy for that 1 year for what? It was a $12 million contract with incentives. Yeah. Now they've gone the exact opposite direction, and we ain't spending shit in free agency. We're just going to go ahead and get the bottom basement. One extreme to the
right. I think that fill out somewhere in the middle.
And see, I think that you got to have a happy medium. You can't build a team out of all free agents, but you've got to be able to say, okay, I need this part right here, and if I get this part right here, if I get the linebacker right now, that opens me up on the draft. That hey, maybe I find that swing guard or swing tackle, or maybe it ends up being I can get another pass rusher. All of a sudden now you're not having to draft at need. You're able to draft at best player available. Yeah. And that's not where we've been.
And that's why I said in the first round we got to either get a defensive line or we need to get that offensive guard. Period. Mm-hmm. Or a linebacker. Now again, both Roquan Smith and Tremaine Evans are going to be too early in the draft for us to get. Now we've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, I'm saying it depends because if Baker Mayfield kills the combine, if he does it, or if he kills his pro day, he's gonna go up. He's gonna go up, and you already know Josh Rosen and Donald are gonna be before. They're gonna go before we pick. We need Baker Mayfield
because all those teams need a quarterback.
Not everybody needs a linebacker though, which could push our guys down.
If we could get either, well, I don't know. Tremaine Evans is actually higher up than Roquan is, but both of them are dynamic linebackers. But outside of them two, there's really no.
I would love Roquan to be our strong side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then we're good as far as linebacker.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like we need them quarterbacks. Like somebody, like who are the top quarterbacks?
Darnold, you got Darnold, Baker, and was it Rosen?
Yeah, Rosen's pretty good too.
Rosen's going to the Giants though. If Cleveland don't pick him first.
Now what if somebody? Now here's a wild card because he's a very good athlete. Yeah. Lamar Jackson.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about him.
I don't think Mason. I'm not a big fan of Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, Lamar Jackson is definitely a wild card there. And if you got 4 quarterbacks to go, that's even better for us.
Right.
That's even better.
Well, you already know that there's a quarterback that we're not talking about that's probably going to go in the first round.
Allen?
Yeah. Because of the simple fact that teams are going to be rushing to get them first because it happens every year. They're going to get their quarterbacks, and then there's going to be another team like, you know what, free agency didn't work right. Because all of this is contingent upon what they do in free agency. Mm-hmm. Who's going to get Kirk Cousins? You're going to know closer
Denver.
to right. But you're going to know. They kept saying the Browns should get him. I'm like,
if you're Kirk Cousins, why would you go to the Browns?
I would not go to the Browns.
You've already seen RG3 go to the Browns. How'd that work?
Look, I'm broke, and I wouldn't go to the Browns.
If I was Kirk Cousins,
what is he? He messed his shoulders up first game, or his knees the first game he played.
He's not going to go to Minnesota because Minnesota already has a debacle with Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater.
They already have good.
And then they still got Sam Bradford.
Bradford's gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
You think so?
He already made his money.
Bradford can't make it through a game.
But look at the 3 quarterbacks. You have Kirk Cousins and those guys.
Who would you rather have?
Kirk Cousins is better than both of those guys.
Yeah, of course.
Minnesota could definitely say we're one piece away. Sorry, Case.
John Elway's gonna get him. So I mean, we already know that. He's going to the Broncos. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. No.
He's probably gonna be one of the first free agents picked up.
Buffalo's a wild card too.
They're gonna re-sign Tyrod.
Think so? Because
Yeah.
I think they showed Tyrod
The Walker papers.
I think they showed him that they didn't respect him really.
They've been showing him that for years, but they still re-signed him. They still kept him. Obviously, and I think what's going on in Buffalo is half of the staff loves him and the other half don't want him. And every offseason they're up there fighting and
That's true.
And trying to figure out what they're gonna do with him. And it always ends up with him staying.
We need them to take a quarterback.
See you later, Jeffrey. Thank you for joining in, my man. And we're actually getting ready to sign off too, as well. But it's been a great run and stuff with you guys. But I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
No, I would just conclude with, like I said, Kurt most likely is going to the Broncos. But again, who gets picked in the draft first is really contingent upon what these guys do with their quarterbacks in the offseason.
Jets need a quarterback.
Jets do too,
Yeah.
but again,
No.
are they going to get Kurt? Are they just going to wait for the draft?
Miami needs a quarterback too.
Because
There's a lot of
because Baker Mayfield is pro ready.
we could be in a very good situation. Let's pray that happens.
Let's hope.
It's a lot of quarterbacks.
If we could get one of them two linebackers, man,
Yeah.
I would be jumping off of the.
If we can get one of them guards, I think we're in a really good spot.
And if we still
Take it
road
easy,
tripping,
Chris.
And if we still road tripping, that's going to be the talk of the road trip right there. Is literally who we getting in the first round. I mean, because by that time though, we'll have a better idea of where we're at and what realistically we can get. But if we can't get that linebacker, we definitely need to go ahead and get Will Hernandez.
We also
or Vita Vea.
We also need to know what workouts, like the workouts, when they bring guys in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if guys are, like, for example, if Cleveland is bringing in quarterbacks again.
Wow, really? I've got a troll Mark Holmes. I think Jerry should take a look at Cousins. Laugh out loud at a fake Mark Holmes. Okay.
Oh, you got a fake Mark Holmes?
Yeah.
That's when you know you made it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've had some. I haven't seen any in a while. Because for a while there was the one that had the pink makeup and everything.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's like some people have just too much time on their hands.
They took your picture, photoshopped it.
Then there was ones that did, Joe Boo's profile, and they were going through and cussing people out and stuff. So yeah, but guys, I hope this helped you guys at least make it through a football Sunday without football. My friends came over here. We had a great time and working on some plans for the draft and everything else. But tell everybody where they can find you, my man Irvin.
All right, hit that subscribe button on my page. Support your boy. It's E2 Blue Entertainment. That's E2 capital BLU space entertainment. That's where you can find me.
No E put on there.
No E, BLU. BLU.
Okay.
Find me, DMV Dallas Cowboys on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and comment. That's all I got for you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mark Holmes. Okay. Great name. Okay. Mark Holmes says that just happens to be my name. Okay.
Oh my goodness!
You're my doppelganger. Okay, my bad.
Oh God.
I've had some people that have made fake profiles that were Mark Holmes, so I appreciate that.
We apologize.
So forgive me. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
My bad.
DMV Dallas Cowboys on YouTube. Find me, subscribe, like, and comment.
All right. And Michael?
Well, you can find me at Michael Anthony Fitness on YouTube.
All right. And with that being said, I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow night. Hopefully, I've got all of my equipment hooked up together and everything else, and we'll be talking about what else the Dallas Cowboys. But thank everybody who's been in here, and we will definitely see you guys soon. Make sure you show all the YouTubers out here, not just these guys, but all the YouTubers that are out there. Everybody works hard to try and bring you the best news of the Dallas Cowboys with their opinions and stuff like that, and show them some love. So as always, friends, I'm Mark Holmes with my gang, and Joe Boo, well, he's sitting over at the sports desk. And I will see you.